Hello and welcome to the rMetroidvania podcast. I am Professor Q.
This is Caldrath from the rMetroidvania Discord and subreddit.
This is Master. I'm also from there. And today we're playing I Wanna Be the Guy.
And
I
this is,
hear it's a game. So that's all I got.
and this is a Metroidvania because it references Symphony of the Night at one point.
It
Wow.
does. There's some backtracking.
Is there backtracking in this game? I honestly don't even remember. I haven't played this myself, but I have watched playthroughs, like, as I was saying before the stream, like 12 years ago. So
Oh, there's difficulties. Which one do I play on?
do you want the bow? Do you want the devil face?
It just changes the frequency of save points, I believe.
Ooh, then go on easy.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'll just do the easy difficulty if that's it.
Welcome, it's Sarah. I actually had something clever I was going to say to try and get you to trigger the auto mod, but I can't remember what I was going to say, so I'm sure we'll find something else. Does it say that? I don't remember if it says that on my streams or not.
It also
Oh.
says that we're playing Super Metroid.
Oh, crap. Oh, no. Okay. I knew I was missing something. One sec. Let me fix that.
So far this game's pretty amazing.
It might as well be Super Metroid, right?
It starts you with a double jump.
It does. Maybe they'll take away my powers later.
Wow, you actually predicted that. I'm impressed.
No, he already died to it.
Oh, he already died to it. I was too busy trying to fix the...
Gonna come the other way and kill me. Yep. See, I'm good at predicting things. I just don't act on my predictions.
So, okay, before we talk about what we planned on talking about tonight, what do we think about this design?
It's a comedy game. The entire point of it is to kill you in hilarious ways.
So
It's intentional because it's supposed to be a parody of a hard old game.
So do you think this is like the original stream bait game? Like things like Five Nights at Freddy's, they're all about getting people online so that they can react to being scared by the like the bears or whatever, the animatronics.
I mean, maybe.
And this was probably made so that they could watch you rage. You're supposed to be raging more, Master. You need to get angry.
How often
For
do
the
people
memes.
stream at this point, though?
I don't think it
This
existed
was
when
like
this game was released.
2007 or something. What do I
Yeah,
do
that-
here?
What, you want
Why
a
is that
guide
spike
already? You're in the second room and you're already asking for a guide?
So mean.
Guide shaming Caldroth. I don't even know if a guide would be helpful in this game. Could you imagine writing out all of these movements? The only thing that could help you on this is if you just watch somebody do a video.
Well, you could tell them like where the traps are before they get sprung.
And also, at Sarah, that was my. I'm going to be stopping to laugh a lot during the stream. It's going to be very distracting. Yes, and Sarah, that was my Google Hangouts. I wouldn't shut it off. That's why I went silent for a second there. So we are prepared now. So, do you think you could get away with something like this during a Metroidvania design, like a Metroidvania game?
Like as just part of the game or as a consistent theme in the game?
As a consistent theme in the game.
I don't know about that.
I think you could.
I'm trying to think. Castle in the Darkness is the one that's closest, but it didn't like. It wasn't like unfair. It was just really difficult. I think
Like there's a difference between being difficult and being difficult in a comedic way.
like Castle in the Darkness had a lot of like spikes that would fall from the ceiling and kill you. I think you might have the right idea, Master, because maybe a platform opens up on the right.
I mean, I can tell you what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
I gotta fall and shoot the spike and also land on the spike.
Yes.
So what is it? Knit Underground. It's set up a little bit like Celeste in the sense that you respawn on every screen. And I think if you did the every screen respawn design, I think you could probably get away with something like this.
Maybe.
Yeah. Part of the reason this game works is because you can just hit R and instantly respawn.
See, this beginning part though, it's tedious because you have to wait for the trap, and you don't have. Like, you can only get through it so quickly because you have to wait.
So
Yeah.
what difficulty did you put it on?
Hard. They're not. It's like the second difficulty
Okay.
of 3 or 4. Yeah, Cauldress said it only affects the save points, which, I mean, I believe.
Okay, then now what? Oh, great. That's not a sound you want to hear.
And I'm sure it's going to be completely fair the whole way. It's not going to change the pattern ever.
I wonder if you stay on that screen during the push start to restart, if you can watch the pattern for a little bit.
I mean, that's what I literally did.
Patience. So anyway, we can move on to our topic of the night, I think.
Yeah, let's actually talk about stuff. I don't want to talk about this game.
No, I mean, as entertaining as it is to watch you fail, that will happen regardless of what we talk about. So,
We can actually make him fail more by making him think about other things.
Exactly.
so I had this idea for a stream where I don't think that other spike spawns unless you go to the right. I had an idea for a stream that we would talk about Metroidvania cliches and how to subvert those cliches in interesting ways. And I think that might be a good topic for future streams, but a lot of the cliches that we came up with when we were thinking about it were just ability upgrades. So I thought that tonight we could just talk about ability upgrades and what we think about those ability upgrades and maybe some different variations on what you could do for them. And I thought no better list of ability upgrades could be used than those in the original two. When I say original two, I mean the ones that popularized the genre. Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night. I thought we could talk about the ability upgrades in those games and maybe what they inspired going forward and maybe some ways that they could be done differently, that sort of thing. So I thought we could start with the Super Metroid Morph Ball.
It changed.
Does it change? That doesn't seem very fair.
That's the point.
It went right initially.
Maybe it changes based
If
on
you're-
where you move.
Just going to say right now, if you're going to change the difficulty, you might as well do it now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, okay, I can do that. I don't know how to quit without just exiting the game.
Go ahead and exit the game. I can just put it back on once it's done. It just shows the stream is closed when you do that.
No. So the Morph Ball, the Metroid crawling equivalent.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really interesting that that's what they decided to go with originally. I'm kind of wondering what the history is behind that.
Probably some sort of technical limitation. Like if you made the character crawl, you'd have to do a 2-tile long instead of tall sprite. And there weren't a lot of games that had like changing the width of the sprites. So maybe they just decided to get around that by just cutting her in half.
Come to think of it, so I'm thinking it might be an animation thing. Like you have a sprite table and you have a limit to how many sprites you're allowed to have. If you make her into a ball, then all you need is 2 sprites that shift back and forth, it kind of simulates the rolling. I'm trying to think, are there any
It's true.
Nintendo games that you would crawl in?
Usually it's just they let you crouch. You can like slide crouch.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Mega Man has the little smaller gaps, and he just
Oh
slides, so
wait,
that's one frame
yeah,
of
he
animation.
slides, but he also like becomes 2 tiles wide when he slides. But yeah, it is. Or actually, what? Don't you get some upgraded slides in Mega Man where it like has the like weapon on the end of it, and that's got a little bit of an animation to it?
Yeah, in Mega Man 5, you had the Train Man, or what is his name, Charge Man, where when you slid, but all that did was just put like a little blade in front of you. So I don't assume that that's more complex than just putting a bullet on the screen.
Yeah, that's probably what they did for that.
Oh, I'm interested to see what happens. Oh, that was lame. I expected something to happen on that screen. I wonder if you avoided what's supposed to happen there. Also, I will acknowledge that now 99000 did mention the animation aspect of it. I just think it's funny that limitations made Samus do something really unusual for a character to do, physically impossible even, and yet we just kind of accept it now, even though in Metroid Prime it seems even more ridiculous.
I love how the like space pirates tried to replicate it,
Did
and
they?
like yeah, like in one of the um like scan entries in Metroid Prime, they talk about how the space pirates were trying to replicate the technology, and they kept like slaughtering their like slaughtering the space pirate test subjects. Yeah, they got horribly mutilated because they were shoving them in that.
Is this Mega Man 2?
Basically.
I think it's interesting that Samus can turn into energy like that. And yeah, this is ripping off Mega Man 2. Boy, you gotta move. Can you dash in this game?
Nope.
No.
Ballify enemies. I don't know. Melting
Gotta
their
go
face with a
fast.
plasma beam is. This seems impossible. I wonder if you can go to the left instead.
Went to the left and I got laser. I'll figure it out, I'm sure.
It's like actual Quickman. You have to be nearly perfect. Oh yeah, the Doremi
Yeah,
famous.
You
Wait,
can press R without dying. So
I know. But it's more comical to wait.
you're not raging enough for that to be comical.
Sorry, do you want me to like be angry?
Just make sure you say bleepity bleep instead of what you're actually thinking.
Okay.
So, Doremi Fantasy, I think it's interesting that they put them in bubbles, because that reminds me of Bubble Bobble did the same thing. But anyway, we're digressing. I always thought it was interesting that Samus turned into a ball. Even as a kid, I thought that was a little weird.
It is
yeah.
weird.
That's funny that.
So the witch and the 66 mushrooms, they actually have a similar thing, except you turn into a cat.
Oh yeah, they did that in Momodora 4 as well. Or should I
But
say?
you actually have like bombs and bomb jumping in that
Really?
too. Yeah.
I
Like
need to
you drop a little yarn ball and then it explodes and launches you upwards.
I think what is it? Out Buddies had you turn into a literal ball form in that one,
Oh yeah, and then you can like
and it had like a
I don't
spiral
want
type thing.
yeah. That wasn't as bad as the original spider ball.
Speaking of which, what do we think of the spider ball? Apparently, you don't like it, Cauldron.
Yeah, it is so slow and the gameplay isn't very interesting either.
I thought it was really cool as a kid. Like I said, I kind of was annoyed that Super Metroid didn't have it when I was a kid. I kept looking for it. Also, I apologize on the stream that the text is covering the bottom left of there. Or obscuring the vision there.
What are the odds I'm supposed to skip this in order to win?
What I find amusing is that you got this from itch.io, right?
Yeah.
I assume it was free.
Yes.
I just find it interesting that it has all these Nintendo assets and there's nobody's
Oh.
tried to stop them at this point. Axiom Verge had the spider drone, which I thought was really cool as kind of an alternative for the spider ball, or for the, I'm sorry, for just the regular ball form.
So should I try pressing S to skip, or am I supposed to like do this normally?
You could just walk past it.
Okay.
I think it's press S to skip him coming down from the top of the screen.
I mean, that's probably true.
I think it just starts the pattern immediately. What is it? After Death actually literally has a spider form, which I thought was kind of neat. So what are the advantages of ball form compared to like a slide from a design perspective?
Balls are cooler.
And the slide, you like have to constantly move, or it doesn't really make much sense.
So there's more precision in the movement.
Yeah.
So one of the upgrades in Super Metroid is the spring ball, which allows you to jump with the ball form, which normally you can't do. And normally you'd have to use bombs for that. I'm pretty sure there's no reason to. Let me think. In the original Metroid, you did have to bomb jump, right? To get up into some of the walls.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's just an interesting, unique Metroid thing. I can't think of any other game that really does the restriction on jumping, like in the ball form, that type of thing. Like you have games like Gato Roboto where you had to get out of your suit in order to get into the small form, which is a nice twist on that. But something about the way Metroid does it makes it kind of just a unique gameplay in the sense that there's some strategy to it until you get the spring ball jump. And then it's just you turn Samus smaller and she can't shoot.
And there's some of them where you can just like immediately switch between morph ball and regular Samus even in midair.
Technically, you can do that in Super Metroid. It's just really difficult to do. Can you do that in Metroid Zero Mission very easily? I can't remember.
I think you could do it pretty easy in Zero Mission.
They made a lot of the advanced techniques easier in Zero Mission, I noticed. Try pushing S and see what happens. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it just skips the intro.
Gotcha. You're just getting into position before you start.
Guess I have to damage the boss with the bomb, but I'm not sure how to manipulate it.
Seems kind of tricky. Is there any hatred that you have for the crawling ability? Either of you guys, like, have you ever come across a crawling ability you didn't like? Do you dislike it, or is there anything you dislike about how it works in Metroid?
I like it in Metroid. I feel like this actual slide has gotten a bit of a cliche. Like whenever you see a small gap, you're like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna learn how to slide."
So you think? So does your mind immediately go towards sliding now, or do you think that just in general you're going to get some kind of ability that lets you go inside a small gap?
I generally assume slide, and I'm almost always correct on it.
That is the most common one in general. That's one of the things that was refreshing about Axiom Verge is that the drone was just so much different than the other options we had seen before.
It is true.
I thought that was really cool. It was one of the reasons why when you touch the bomb, you die, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you just have to time it.
Like, it seems like I have to shoot the bomb so he goes to the left, but he always ends up in the bottom left corner, and he explodes before the boss actually goes to that corner. Anyway, so sure there's a timing or something.
So now says that he always has thought that Mario handles the crouch well. It's used as the classic get short movement ability, but it's also the primary way to long jump. Have we seen that? Castlevania with the slide. often you can slide into the slide jump, which is actually a lot of fun to do. Um, gosh, Indivisible does that as well, where you can where you can slide and then jump from the slide, and Indivisible actually has you slide into gaps that are above ground in the wall, and that's actually pretty fun. I actually thought it was a neat. As you get more movement abilities in Indivisible, I'm actually enjoying the platforming aspect of the game. As I move through that. But you're getting tired of the small gaps, Caldrath, is that what you're saying?
I don't mind the small gaps as much as just that it's almost always a slide.
So would you consider, okay, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about with each of these abilities. Would you consider that slide a key gate, or would you consider that an ability gate?
I'd consider it an ability gate because you can technically slide anywhere. I guess my other issue with the slide is that they're generally not very useful. Like they almost always don't have enough priority on them so that you can avoid taking damage when you use them. They do like negligible damage even if you do hit with them.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to shoot it back at him.
Okay, I'll try that next
time. Yeah, in D-Lit and Weather Labyrinth, they added the iframes to the slide if you were in fire form.
Yeah, but only in fire form.
I actually got to the point where I actually switched during combat to use fire form at crucial times. Like there was a couple of bosses where I felt like that was kind of necessary to dodge the damage. I don't know if you felt the same way or if you just hit him with a bow from a distance all the time.
Yeah, that's what I wound up doing towards the end of that game, was just using the bow. Because you could refill your mana so easily. And you can just easily match the elemental wickedness to them if you have the right bows.
I'm going to turn up the sound of the game just a little bit. Yeah, there was a couple of bosses that I actually switched to do that. I thought that was neat. And then Blasphemous, your favorite game, Calderoth, has invincibility frames when you slide. That one's just pretty much a dodge at that point.
Yeah.
How's it going, Metroidvania?
Yeah, and you guys know how I feel about the invincible dodges in general.
Invincible frames. So in Metroid, obviously not very useful in combat, the ball form. But you also use it a lot. I never realized how important the ball form is because you get it so early in every Metroid game. Oh, great. What?
Dr. White.
So, Dr. Wily. We're doing very well in Retrovania. Okay, just watching this game, I don't think I'll ever play this.
Why not? What's wrong with this?
This looks awful to me. I know this is like a super mean game, but oh gosh. We'll see you later, Sarah. That's really interesting that got auto-modded. Do you know why that got auto-modded? Why? Why did that get auto-modded?
What got auto-modded?
Oh.
N64 games?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
But why? That's so weird. Yeah. So during our Super Metroid stream, we were talking about whether or not Samus should be depicted with emotions, and somebody in the chat said Samus is not a robot, and that got censored for some reason. I have no idea why. I have no idea why I censored that. So weird.
I don't like how these first phases are just really long and then I have to do them again.
Yeah, that's why I would get very tired of this game after a while. If a Metroidvania did do this, I would not expect it to have a very high score. I don't know though. When it's specifically made for comedy, I don't. One of the arguments I have is that intentionally bad is still bad, but
I mean, I'm not laughing.
we're laughing. That's what I mean. Is it's almost like the original Stream Bait game. Hmm. Well, you have a good rest, Itsuro. So I like the ball form. I feel like that the small gap thing is a little bit overdone. I think that the ball form is one of the more interesting ways to do it. Axiom Verge had a good way to do it. Is there anything that you can think of that would be like, have you in your imagination just thought of an idea that would work with a small gap that you think might be cool?
Not really.
Does that actually hit the bullet? I guess it does.
Yeah.
So what if you had like a snake form, like you went long and you had to like get your whole body out of the hole?
Snake
After you
form
went-
sounds
Monster-
fun.
So like Monster Boy.
Yeah, but not like a small snake. Snake form in Monster Boy is the same thing as ball form essentially. I mean like a long boa constrictor. So like when you put your body in there, you gotta get your entire body through it before you're out. Like make it like a puzzle every time you go inside a small gap.
So there is a puzzle game called Snake Bird, and it's really good and it's really hard, and it's basically about what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Snakebird. I remember seeing that. There's also Snake Pass that kind of does similar things. I think that could be neat. Now, obviously, anytime you add a puzzle element to a Metroidvania game, if you make people repeat that to any degree at all, it's going to get annoying. But I think it could be really cool if you did something like that.
Snake Bird is brutal.
I think it would work particularly well for a spatial reasoning puzzle Metroidvania game. And also, you could make it really weird because your character just turned into a long snake.
This is true.
I think that would be neat. So the next item, let's go ahead and jump to a Symphony of the Night upgrade. We'll flip back and forth because I have a feeling if we don't, then we might not cover Symphony of the Night at all. What do we think of? Okay, I'm just kind of going down the list here. I think okay. First off, do you remember what the first ability upgrade is in Symphony of the Night?
Is it
No.
the wolf form?
I want to say it's the wolf form. Bats. Well, of course, bats, but that's not the first one.
Are we talking about low percent speedrun strats? Or?
Oh, real quick. Retrovania just brought out something interesting, like a different idea of what to do with the small gap thing. He suggests possibly doing the opposite, and that's making the gap bigger. That's similar to a kind of Blasphemous' approach to things, I think. But wouldn't that be kind of neat if you had like a jack that you put into the hole and then you just lifted the hole up instead?
I think the problem with that is it winds up turning it into a key-like ability.
You think that would be more like a key-like ability?
Like, unless you had some use for the jack outside of increasing the size of holes.
What if the jack is one of your 52 melee weapons that you own?
Is it an actual useful melee weapon?
No.
What if you had like turtle enemies and you can run up to them and put the jack on them and pull their shell off, like make their shell lift off? That would be really hard to design. But that's the first thing that came to my mind.
And now you've suddenly made like lock-like enemies, where it's just like this thing only works on this specific enemy, and you have to be like right on top of them to use it.
Is that a problem that you have lock-like enemies? That's actually an interesting concept. that you have to have a specific weapon for each enemy.
So one thing about Sekiro though is that it kind of did do that, but it was like soft locks, where an enemy would be significantly easier if you had certain weapons, but only for like minor enemies.
Oh, you're talking about like the
So like there's the guys
shinobi
with like
weapons.
wooden shields, and then you'd like either use like flame on the shields or the axe to cut them.
right. So Sekiro is a Metroidvania now, is what you're saying? Is that
People said that it was a Metroidvania because of that.
lock enemies actually is a really interesting idea. That could turn enemies into a more common like Metroidvania trope. Like you couldn't get past them unless you had specific abilities.
Well, Hollow
There's
Knight
no way
had
that touching this is going to be beneficial to me.
You could try going
Only
off to
one
the
way to
right
find it.
first.
It's only one way to find out.
Go back to the left and use the checkpoint again.
That's true. If I can go back, I will do that.
You're backtracking. Oh, you
Can't
can't.
go back. Oh man,
It's too
like,
tempting, man. It's too tempting. You're gonna have to fight the whole boss again when that thing blows you up. I would do it.
Like I could just leave, but also, what if that's like a save point or something?
Do it. Do it. You gotta do it. For science.
Oh.
For science.
Oh.
Game
save
saved.
my game. Okay.
I do like what this game does to you. That's hilarious.
I think that was a fair thing to assume that the game would do.
I agree. This is brutal. Like I know what you have to do, but you don't really have much time to do it. See, these kind of challenges bother me less because the answer is obvious. It's just the execution. That one room where you basically had to trial and error, shoot the wall or whatever, that annoys me a little bit more.
At least there was some indication that you need.
That's true. It did wiggle if you're paying attention, so I guess you could make that argument that it's fair because of that.
Yeah, no matter how hard the game, I'll enjoy it if I can like go room by room.
Yeah.
But I don't like doing long stretches of things perfectly.
Yeah, so this is definitely the difficulty for you.
Yeah. Also, so my push to talk is caps lock, jump is shift, and shoot is Z. So it's hard to shoot and jump while I'm also talking.
All right, so let's see. So would you consider the light gun 1-2 punch system a lock-based system from like Alan Wake? You remember Alan Wake, or have either of you played Alan Wake?
I have not.
Okay, so in Alan Wake, the whole premise is that you are living out a Stephen King novel, essentially. And all of the enemies are like covered in darkness. And in order to hurt them, you have to remove the darkness. And you do that by putting your flashlight on them and basically just melting the darkness away from them. And then you can shoot them with your gun.
There was this... sorry, this is a super tangent. There was this terrible Goosebumps themed game on the Nintendo DS that was just like a bunch of mini games. And one of the mini games was you shining flashlights at monsters to kill them.
Was it Luigi's Mansion?
No.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion did the same thing. And yes, you also got things like flares and flashbangs. Anyway, his question is would you consider that a lock on the enemies, like a lock gating on enemies?
Well, do you start with the flashlight, or do you have to like go find it?
You do, but what if you had to go find the flashlight instead? Like you had to run from enemies until you could get the light, which honestly is an interesting concept.
Then, well, if you have to kill the enemies to advance, then it would be a gate. If you don't, if you can just run past all of them, then it just makes it easier to kill the enemies.
So that was one of the ways that Hero Core gates its areas, is that some rooms require you to kill all the enemies, and some rooms have enemies inside lava, and you can't shoot in lava until you get your armor upgrade so that the cooling is strong enough to allow you to shoot while you're in the heat. And Rabbit's Quest does the same thing. I'm assuming any Hero Core like is going to copy that.
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty limited. Like it's one of those games where you can effectively fly, and that makes it so that ability upgrades are pretty limited.
Yeah,
Options you have.
arguably they're all key gates that you have to break walls or whatever. I like that you
Yeah.
just shoot that window. I also like the master basically predicted that.
Too bad I suck at dodging the bullets, and also double jumping while I'm holding down caps lock.
I think that concept could be used really well. There's a game called Dark Light, which enemies can't be hurt unless you shine the dark light on them. So I think that may do exactly what we're talking about right now. I think that I think it was on sale or something recently. I was thinking about grabbing it to take a look at it, but the concept looked really interesting. It's nice that you shoot your checkpoints. So
Oh no.
this is like taken straight out of Mega Man 1. And if it's anything like Mega Man 1, those guys are going to keep spawning until you get out of here. Anyway, so moving on to Symphony of the Night upgrades, let's talk about the double jump.
Yeah, it has become kind of a cliche thing, but it's for a reason. Like double jump just feels really good, extremely versatile.
It is really nice. In any game that it's in, it feels really good. I agree. Pharaoh Rebirth doesn't give it to you until like the very last level, and you really notice what it's like to not have a double jump for most of the game in that game. And I don't think that platform is coming back, Master. I think you have to reset. Yeah, now brings up a good point that it's like a course correction. Like if you make a mistake while platforming, you can change directions. It's really good for dodging during combat for that purpose. It's kind of like limited flight, and that's literally what it is.
Yep. It lets you jump higher, it lets you jump further.
Now, every once in a while, you'll see somebody on the rMetroidvania subreddit that says that double jumping is boring because it's in every game. Have you ever felt that way, or have you ever played a game where it's like, oh, great, the double jump again? And how could we change up the concept of the double jump and replace it?
Double jump is a bit boring. It's not like the worst thing to have in a game. It's not bad or anything. It's just I mean, it's not an interesting upgrade. You can have a good Metroidvania without interesting upgrades, I think.
So recently, rMetroidvania interviewed the Unspeakable Pixels, the people behind Batbarian, and one of the questions they asked about was why there aren't many ability, like you use friends in that game, like your bat and your other allies, and why they made the decision to go with that design versus other designs. And one of the things that they said, I believe, and Retrog is on the stream chat, so he can correct me if I'm wrong, was because he wanted to maintain that the barbarian was a barbarian and that his main role would be, smashing things. And he keeps that throughout the whole game. So he didn't want to give him like a double jump or anything like that, because that would change the character that he was trying to present, and using the friends to kind of subvert it adds to the concept that you're doing the game as a team rather than a singular hero that gets all the abilities necessary to solve the problems.
It definitely de-emphasizes just the one character, because a lot of Metroidvanias are very one character-esque.
Yeah, Barbarian's just unique in so many ways, and it's a game that doesn't have any double jumping. Does it have You played it master. Do you think it has anything that kind of replaces double jumping, or do you think that the game is just designed around not having that verticality?
Just designed around not having that, I think.
I think that they kind of like with some of the bad abilities, the platforms you can create with like the ice ability, for instance, kind of adds that verticality. But for the most part, I think you're right that it just does. It designs the game without it, and that's also interesting. Now, now 9000 is challenging our idea that double jumping is boring because it's in every game. He asks, is single jumping boring because it's in every game?
It's not in Dark Devotion
No, it's
or Unworthy, I think I heard, doesn't have it.
Unworthy doesn't have it. Yes, you're correct. I really felt
Single jumping isn't a reward though.
that's true.
Well, what if you start with double jumping?
Unless it's Colm, you don't start with the ability to even go left in Colm or KOLM or however you want to say that. You do get jumping as an upgrade. Also in Loot Box Life, you have to unlock jumping. And now says, what's that?
Same in my Minimalistvania,
Oh,
where where every upgrade is just you can jump one more time.
No.
that could be interesting. I don't think that's going to go back down. Maybe it will. Do you have to wait
didn't
this
think it
entire
would.
time? That's so annoying. I would hate this level.
I thought I would have to like race the platforms on the left, but no, I just have to wait a really long time.
Oh gosh, this is one of those that it hurts a lot more when you die.
I
Yeah.
do believe that this is the fairest room in the game, though.
Nothing
What do
pops
you
out
know?
at you.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
this is the room that they use for a lot of the like flash images.
Oh.
Like look how hard this game is. It has this room with all these spikes, and then it's like the fairest room in the game.
Yeah, but it's not a fun room. The unfair rooms are more entertaining.
Master's the one playing. So anyway, now says that he's reasonably sure that there are more games that have jumping than double jumping. He's being all contrarian in the chat there. I think that Alwa's Legacy and Alwa's Awakening do an interesting thing with the double jump. That instead of jumping twice, you summon a bubble that has effectively the same effect. You get that extra verticality, but instead you just jump onto a platform that you create, which I think is neat. I think that's one way that you can get that verticality without having a double jump. But I don't know. What do you think, Caldraff? What did you think of the bubble ability in Alwa's Legacy? What did you think of Alwa's Legacy? I guess.
Alwa's Legacy is one of the. Yeah, Legacy is the second one. Yeah, that's one of my top Metroidvanias, or like Zelda-like Metroidvanias.
Oh, so you really liked it.
Yeah.
Probably because you realized that you could respec your character at any time.
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up.
No, I got to bring it up with myself so I can't.
Like one of the things that is really good about that series is that it does get away from all the cliches as much, like more than other games do.
It makes it very unique, I think. Maybe not as unique as like Barbarian is, but it definitely breaks the mold a little bit. And yeah, I really like the idea of casting spells to get that verticality instead of just jumping. Now, Super Metroid's answer to, and Metroid 2 for that matter, its answer to the double jump is the space jump. And that one takes a little bit of skill to use, and it's not quite as maneuverable. How do we feel about that ability compared to just doing a double jump?
Yeah.
Is it better?
I-
Is it worse? More interesting?
Well,
I mean,
that's
it's not-
like. Oh, good.
Well, you can go. I don't really have any strong opinions on it. I mean, it's not probably like it less than the average person.
Yeah, it's one of those ability that just gives you flight, and that at that point it kind of negates a lot of the um, like any sort of gravity based things going on in the game, gravity based challenges.
That's awesome.
Are you having fun yet?
I am having fun.
So Now says you can design around different styles of jumping. Mario 3D World does it well. Mario is the all-rounder. Peach floats. Toad is quick and precise. Luigi jumps higher. And Rosalina has double jumps. They're all usable in every level. It just changes how you approach each level. Now, in a Metroidvania game, you kind of want it to not. You want to make it so that it's impossible to do certain things without either advanced techniques or without ability upgrades. Otherwise, you're technically not a Metroidvania. The character growing in size as the game progresses. That's an interesting idea to kind of give up on the double jump. Super Scalemania I thought was really interesting. It doesn't have a double jump, but you have like a long. You basically unlock Mario skills, so you get things like the long jump and high jumping and things like that as you progress. And that's another way that you can subvert the double jump is just make it so the character can jump higher.
So high jump boots.
Yeah, I like the high jump boots. Now, as far as my opinion on like the space jump, I really like it. One of my favorite things about it is that if you're good at it, you can also use it to move faster through the game. So, like many things in Metroid, there are layers to how you control it, and that's something I appreciate about the space jump. And I feel like it's not as easily controllable that the fact that it's essentially a flight ability makes it too overpowered. But that's just my thought on it.
They do make it easier in the later games, and then that might be a bit too much.
Yeah, like an AM2R and I think Metroid Zero mission, you can just double jump and it essentially just works.
Yeah, I think just as long as you're spinning and you press the jump button, it jumps again.
I don't even think you have to be spinning an AM2R. I think it just works. um, and I don't necessarily think that that's an improvement, although it does make it more accessible. So I'm sure that many players would like that more. What the? I was gonna say that they put you in the first room again. Oh gosh.
Let's collect the 6 units, whatever that means.
Oh, you've entered the Metroidvania portion of the game.
Yeah.
This is true.
The ability to rotate a room is something that Metroidvania has brought up as an option. Is there any Metroidvania that does that?
There's Bloodstain lets you flip gravity, kind of does the same thing.
That is a similar concept. I played a game called Munion, I think. It's a puzzle game where you rotate the room, and that's like its main gimmick. Puzzle platform, but I don't know if I've seen a Metroidvania do it yet.
There's Gravity Spin, one of the Ezekiel Rages games, which I believe lets you like flip the rooms. I
Oh.
think that one's effectively the same as Bloodstained, where it's just changing gravity, but I think graphically it like flips the room.
Should I save at that point below me?
That's up to you.
Is this the intended route, or am I
I don't know if there is an intended route. Yeah.
mess up myself if I...
There's multiple routes. So
I don't think. I mean, you're probably going to save at the save point up here once you get past all these apples. So
Was this open in the beginning? I don't remember it. I don't think it was.
yeah, you can go this way to start. The first time I played this game, I went up.
Guess I'll have to redo things to beat the game.
So wait, did you already get a thing going the route you did?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that thing that he was so scared to pick up.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right. Well, the whole game is just you. I could
I
see
hope it's
somebody
obvious though
arguing that
which routes
there's.
I have to take, so I don't have to go through areas looking for secret passages.
Well,
Unfortunately, that may be the case. rotating the room, though, I want to say that I played a Metroidvania where you do that on a limited basis. I just can't
Like
think of which one.
I think there's ones where there's like switches that will flip the rooms.
Yeah. Like, I know that Dawn of Sorrow has that puzzle area that you can kind of do that in. Um, you're talking about the bash ability. So now I was asking about Ori's aim jump. And yeah, I mean, bash is what makes Ori. Like, that's what everybody loves about that game. Okay, I forgot Caldrath. Are you an Ori hater as well, or is it just is it just best?
I am an Ori 2 prefer,
Oh, okay,
but
that's right.
I don't hate the first one.
Okay, but you generally like the Ori games, right? Is that
I
okay?
consider them like upper tier games.
Okay. I'm just double checking where I'm at, so I'm not like outnumbered.
Why would that be a problem?
It wouldn't be a problem. I can't think of a game where I am outnumbered yet, but um, that's right. You don't like La Mulana. He doesn't like Ori.
He also doesn't like Symphony of the Night, but I consider that like a 4 out of 5 game.
Can you go across the clouds on the back in the other room, Master? Like the clouds on the right? Yeah, those clouds.
No.
Nope. Okay. I just wanted to check to make sure that wasn't like a secret passage over there.
That would just take you back to that first room anyway.
But yeah, I think that the bash ability is that is the core. That is the identity of Ori in the Ori games.
That is one of the biggest issues I have with the second one, though, is that eventually you get a flight ability.
Sort of, but yeah, it's flight in the same way that you get a flight ability in Symphony of the Night. Even though you already have a flight ability when you get that ability.
But like there's a bunch of like challenges in Ori 2 that get just completely like they're bash based challenges, but then when you get the ability to fly, it's just like, I don't care about this anymore. I can just immediately get whatever.
I did read in the options there was a button for being in the room of divine transportation. Maybe if I press that when I jump in there and die, something will happen. No.
That's interesting. What button is that?
It was backspace.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ori has puzzle platformer elements, which Symphony of the Night does not have. I don't think there's any besides like figuring out how to get to the second half of the game. I don't think there's any actual puzzles in Symphony of the Night. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any.
That's why Master hates it.
It doesn't have puzzles. It has the clock room, which is sort of a puzzle, but the puzzle is basically you just go in there at the right times. Why does the street kill you? I'm confused what killed you there.
Falling off the map.
Is it like outside in Arizona and it's like super hot, or
Getting burned by the road.
because everything kills you? I guess that's as good an explanation as anything.
Well, I need to go somewhere. Maybe it's down.
What I think is cool about Ori is that it recontextualizes basically everything in the game.
When you get bash.
When you get bash, yeah, like everything becomes a tool at that point. Okay, so you're basically doing the same thing again. Is there anything that tells you where those things are, or are you just guessing?
Nope. Just guessing.
Oh my gosh. Like you said, the only thing that makes this acceptable is the
instant retry.
The instant retrying. What the heck?
This is a pretty good example of how like the double jump allows you to correct mistakes.
Only Q can kill you. That's funny. Did you push Q when you went up there?
Yes.
This is the safest room in the game, except you can't stay in that room. I'm wondering, like, if you actually manage to get up there, if the only way out is to kill yourself. Oh, okay, so you're just not... There you go. Is that the item you need?
I have an item now. I don't know what it is, but I have it. Maybe I
Interesting.
should have pressed Q instead of R. I don't know. I assume the item I possess now. Maybe I don't though.
Yeah, you should double check to make sure you have it, then try Q next time, and then try it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I really see that I can do at the moment, so.
So I think double jump is the most common Metroidvania power-up, and it's also the easiest one to come up with ideas on how to change it, because really all the double jump is giving you movement control, and there's just so many ways you can give the player that movement control.
Yeah, one thing that Minoria did that I thought was kind of interesting is that they made all of the movement abilities into attacks as well. So when you double jump, it also like does an uppercut attack. When you do a air dash, it also does like a dash attack.
Technically, the double jump was an attack in, I think, all of the Team Ladybug games. They usually include some kind of wind movement that deals damage. I know that Deedlit had it, and I know that Pharaoh Rebirth had the damage. Agalos is the same way. Every ability has a secondary. Okay, so that did work. Well, you saw us, so now you don't have to go up there anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what I do from here. Do I just go back down? Do we go back the other way?
Let's see. So the other alternatives we talked about are like Alwa's Legacy, the Ori's Bash. We talked about Super Metroid Space Jump, and making it so your double jump is an attack. Agalos, I think you do an upward slash that was a lot of fun to use. I wonder if you can go to the bottom right. Nope.
I'd already tried that actually.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Maybe
you
I
might be
can
down.
drop down like the very middle. There's like a street going down there. I don't know. If that doesn't work, I will return the way from whence I came.
It seems a little weird that it makes you backtrack. Like that there's no other option to get out of this area.
I mean, it seems like there's multiple routes.
So now suggest trying the home sign.
I'll try that.
Oh, so Retroidvania is asking what from our imaginations, what other concepts have you had any ideas of how the double jump could be subverted?
Just don't have it.
And I'm
Design
trying.
your levels around needing the double jump. Have other mobility options that aren't jumping related.
Just remove it entirely. Half jump. Oh gosh, a game called Eternal Return that I'm playing has a regular jump and a half jump, and both of them will kill you. It's a really difficult game. I find it interesting that they make you backtrack. I mean, I don't know why I'm questioning it. Like, pretty much everything else in this game is punishing design, so I don't know why it wouldn't be backtracking, but...
So you think backtracking is punishing?
It's
It
punishing
can
when
be.
you have to repeat the same challenge that you had previously already completed, especially in a game like this.
Go up again.
Also, I'm not even sure how you backtrack out of this, but I guess that's for you to figure out.
Yeah, just go to the right to probably go down again. I'll check all those holes to make sure I can't get into one of them.
So the guy who made this game is actually pretty interested in Metroidvania design. Like, he has some articles talking about like Super Metroid, map design, and
Oh, okay. Is he one?
items and stuff
The
like
item's
that.
down there now.
Oh, try using the button now.
I did.
Oh, it didn't
I
work.
think I have to go down there. Maybe it's an upgrade. Question is, do I just like go this way again?
That's a good question.
Maybe Cauldrith can answer
Oh.
that question.
I'm pretty sure there's a fake wall in here somewhere.
In this room?
Yeah.
What the? Why did that happen?
It doesn't like it when you go into the wrong hole.
Oh, okay. Then the fake wall is probably there.
I'd say it's probably to the left, right below me.
Let's
Maybe,
see.
Well, that one would be easy to find accidentally.
It's true.
So
Is it against the save point or what?
I think it's actually like where you're trying to go at first. Like, go now.
Huh?
Like, you go to the like third row down, wait until the spikes fly past, and then the thing opens up above you, and then while the things to the right go through the left wall.
So now in Retrovania, we're talking about having the half jump as an option, and then now said that you'd have to have it so your jumps are like Ghouls and Ghosts or the original Castlevania games, where that when you push the button, you are locked in that trajectory. And that is how Eternal Return works. That's why it's so hard. Part of why it's so hard.
So
Was
I'm
there a
here
checkpoint there before? Like, it seems like there's more checkpoints
now. It
in
was
this
here
room.
before.
Oh, was
it
it?
wasn't
Okay.
here. Then I switched the lower difficulty.
Oh, okay. So now that you're on normal.
So what was
mode.
your
Yeah.
suggestion, Cauldrith?
So right before that top, or right below that top save point, like, okay, so the spike goes flying off to the right, and then you go down the next one, and spikes come flying off to the left.
Yeah.
And then once that they're retracting, you can jump up, like the
Like
the
get behind
like
them.
yeah, the thing opens up again,
Okay.
and you can jump up.
Good thing you didn't use the checkpoint.
So you want me to go back up from here?
I'm watching on Twitch, so I'm seeing this a lot delayed.
Yeah, I'm watching it through the OBS.
So yeah, drop down, go to the left, wait until the thing opens again, and then jump up.
Wow.
Wowza. Kind of wish there was a checkpoint there. Even on easy mode, it's like inconsistent. I'm actually really surprised. I'm really surprised you're able to maintain your jumps from there. Anyway, let's move on to the next Super Metroid ability, the bombs.
Bombs are fun.
What do bombs do for you?
They let you bomb
jumping.
jump.
They let you
Super
bomb jump.
easy.
I like how that's the first thing you guys think of. What?
It's the most interesting thing they do.
So what about their actual function, the gates things? Is that key
Yeah,
gating?
It does feel a lot like key gating. Like, the main use of the bombs is just like blow up things that can be blown up by bombs. They aren't really good in combat.
They're kind of crucial for combat in the original Metroid.
Specifically against Metroids. And that's only if you like mess something up.
In the original Metroid, you could not duck and shoot. So the only option you had to get things on the ground was to bomb them. What is that? Oh, okay. So you can transport back to the Bowser room.
Don't really want to though. I could try going down there just to see if it actually, where specifically it takes me.
So
It
super
takes me
bomb,
anywhere.
super bombs are fun. Oh, okay. And you push the button to go back to the room of divine transportation.
No, I just hit R.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll try hitting the button down here. Maybe I can hit it when I'm in here. No.
and then teleport you
Maybe
It'd be
back.
nice
you-
if I could.
Maybe if you go there, then you can press it and it'll take you back.
I think that's what he just tried.
Oh.
You have to jump on the yeah.
So super bombs are a lot of fun. As Now was saying on my Saturday stream, I just use it to check for secrets instead of using things like the X-ray goggles or whatever, the X-ray visor, which is another discussion. We'll get to that.
They kind of are. They serve similar purposes.
Right. So in other games, what are some of the other Metroidvania games? What have they done to copy the bombs?
I don't know.
Well, just the bomb, or
The function of the bomb. Like, for instance, ball form is a very unique way of getting through small gaps, and the slide is completely different from the ball form. What are some of the ways that...
A lot of games don't do the whole like checking blocks thing for like different weapons.
or
Yeah.
they have breakable blocks, but like everything breaks them.
Yeah, like Cathedral, you can just whack anything with your sword. I think you have to kill the shy guy to get through there.
You think?
So I think of bombs being similar to like Guacameele's. Every power breaks different kinds of walls. Oh, you have to. Speaking of bombs, one thing that really annoyed me about Out Buddies is, like in Metroid, when you drop a bomb, it has just kind of an AoE effect, and any breakable blocks that happen to be within the explosion will explode. Whereas in Out Buddies, they made the decision to make it so. They made the decision to make it so when you place the bombs, you can like place it like a C4. So you would put it on the specific block that you want to blow up. So it just meant that you did a lot more checking. I think you can make that jump.
The thing this game does, if you're jumping off a ledge, it'll be your second jump, even though it looks like you should have coyote time and you're able to do a primary jump.
Oh, you
Like
may be
that's
right.
Yeah, I don't think
if you
this
look at
game
me
has
jumping
that.
off the ledge, most of those are secondary jumps.
Yeah, I don't think this game has coyote time.
It is
Not even
what?
that, but like if you're a little bit on the, like it looks like you're still, yeah. I mean, I guess it is just coyote time that it's missing.
How old is this game now? 15 years?
I think I played it in like 2009.
Is that when that came out? Man. I want to say this is like 2005.
I think it was 2007.
And that might be true.
Could have been several releases of it though. So.
I'm trying to remember the first time I saw it. Axiom Verge has the drill gun. Has everybody played Axiom Verge?
Yes, but I remember nothing about it.
Really?
Same. All I remember about it is that it had that weird fast travel system
Oh, yeah.
and way too many weapons.
I liked how many weapons there were. I felt they did a relatively good job with... Of course he's going to put it underneath the gray block. Where else would you put it? So that game, you had a drill that when you used it on the different walls, they would... I don't remember if that caused them to glitch out or if it was just the glitch gun that did that. By the way, the glitch gun was really interesting too. Axiom Verge had a lot of really interesting ideas, I thought. But apparently not everybody felt the same way with that game. A lot of people...
So ideas can be unique without being good.
I guess. Like, the only problem with Axiom Verge is the combat was kind of crummy. I felt that the exploration was pretty well done. The fast travel thing is a standout kind of silly thing that it did, but I thought for the most part the exploration was really well done, personally. But that depends on how much you value things like combat or whatever. Yeah, I think you need to get over the pink before the line
I think I
comes
just
down.
need to sit in the corner and not move, and see what happens.
Where do you think that square block's going?
Onto me.
But another thing that reminds me of the bomb is like Firebrand's ability to break blocks with his fire breath.
Oh yeah, the Buster.
Yeah, the Buster shot. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the same thing,
I don't
same
like that.
effect.
But it's kind of fair because, like, where these are being placed is kind of what you would do. Okay, I wouldn't place that there. I would have placed that in the rightmost
In the
row,
line, yeah.
rightmost column. But still,
Obviously, he was trying to squish the guy that was on the screen, though.
Gotta get that guy out of the way so you can play in peace.
just have to remember where the safe places are and how long I can be there.
So Buster Shot's kind of the same thing. The Rooster uppercut and the like side swipe on Guacamole is similar. Those are all color coded blocks, which some people complain about being a lame thing about how Guacamole designed that.
And it's pretty much the same as like all of the Metroid like missiles, like explosives in general. It can feel like lazy design, and it especially is dependent on whether or not the weapon is useful outside of that. Like the fact that bombs aren't very useful outside of bombing bombable blocks does make it feel like it's a lot more of just a key.
So you think that in Metroid the bombs are kind of lame?
Yeah, like you could have, like they could have designed the combat more around making them useful,
I think that
but they didn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's all.
I think that bomb jumping makes the bombs a lot more interesting than they otherwise would be.
Thought it was gonna stop and I'd be able to jump up.
I
But
think I
no.
think that
See,
that's
that's
what
why I
it's
need to
trying
sit
to
still.
do.
Just need to wait, and then I can see everything that happens, even if I miss an opportunity, and then I can just, do the thing the next time instead of guessing every single time.
Yeah, I think otherwise bomb jumping or bombs are just a key if it wasn't for the jumping aspect. And then okay, so Firebrand's Buster Shot, that's a key.
Well, it's a weapon that's also a key. Like it does slightly more damage than the basic shot.
So it's a
So
weapon upgrade essentially, since it's
yeah,
just a status boost.
and I think you can have two shots on the screen with it at once.
Didn't you make that jump before?
Well, I went for the other jump immediately,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
you have to do it immediately or else you're stuck there and you can't make the jump to the left.
hmm.
And then there's like the upgrades where it doesn't change your attack at all, but now they suddenly break certain types of blocks.
That's
Like
probably
the
literally a key at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the Surge 2 had that, and it felt pretty lame.
Hmm. I don't know if I run into that too often in Metroidvania games. A lot of times they just don't have the. Well, I guess that's not true. I think I've seen a few times when they just have like walls that you can break. What the?
I think Addo had that.
Yes. See, but what Atto did it was rather than make it so you could break the walls, all of the walls became cracked at a certain point in the game.
I thought that was just representing that you could break them at that point because it was like because you got an upgraded sword or whatever it was.
I mean, it's kind of semantics. Was it because you upgraded your sword, or was it because the things were cracked? The fact of the matter was, is it was basically a story gate. But yes, you could say that Otto did that. And then all of those Hero Core likes do that. Okay, so that's why it seemed odd that the L block came on you, because you hadn't gotten that far before.
Such a troll. Oh my god. Is there a Mario pill? Oh, that's why. So I need to go up to the top right in that brief moment when I can.
Oh, is there a hole at the top right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I have to do that before the pill comes down.
I was trying to figure out how you get
Or
out of that one.
Before they clear all those lines and drop the whole
I'm
thing.
glad it didn't just make me do like an entire, like use all those shapes on the left. That would have been tedious.
And they keep
Implying
going
that
faster.
this is
and,
already
like,
tedious.
So
you get all
speaking,
the way up to level 9.
so I was about to bring up Symphony of the Night, but then I realized, does Symphony of the Night have anything similar to the bomb in it? Has any of the Castlevania games had anything similar to the bomb?
No.
I don't think so.
Castlevania isn't about interacting with your environment.
I mean, that's probably true, actually.
It's not technically Castlevania, but like Bloodstained had some stuff where there was things that you had to, like some souls that you had to specifically use to interact with the environment.
It's too late.
How is it too late? Go to the left.
I had to go up to the right earlier and I missed the jump and I wasn't able to. I love that the line block that just trolls you.
How much leeway do you have before it settles the block down? Like, it seems like he's breaking the rules of Tetris just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It's a simulation of Tetris designed to scare you.
Like, I know that you can slide things a little bit, but I don't remember how much you can slide.
No, you can slide things pretty far.
And the newer version of Tetris,
Ooh,
as long as you
fuck.
kept rotating the block, it would reset the
Oh,
time until you
infinite
could-
spin, I think is what they call that.
Yeah. And that I feel like that makes the game way too easy.
Yeah,
Where's the like it's a time-based game. It's supposed to scare you with the time limit.
so one of the Tetris versions, I think it's like a standard now, but it was one of the first ones that added the outline of where the block is going to land. I don't know if you've seen that in newer versions of Tetris.
That's kind of quality of life.
I remember seeing a review that said it was the most horrible thing they could have possibly done to Tetris, and that they ruined the game. And now it's
Tetris
like
99.
a standard, I think.
Well, so is infinite rotation.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, Nell. So let's talk about bad. Oh, you can go right now. Gosh, you can
Yeah,
go
the
really
troll
early.
was that you're usually gonna stay on the left side because, that's where it was safe last time, and then the line block further trolls you, and then you realize, oh, I couldn't go there at all. Fire's gonna kill me.
That was a self-fulfilling prophecy right there. Oh, now you have vines, new mechanics.
Well, this is literally Celeste.
This was way before Celeste, though.
I'm pretty sure this was before an Untitled Story, I think. An Untitled Story. So let's talk about bad Symphony of the Night upgrades. The wolf form. Or I should say the bad Symphony of the Night upgrade. Um, I feel like wolf form could be good. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it's similar to the speed booster.
Yeah, I think that we could lump that in the same category as the speed booster in the same way you can lump the space jump in with the double jump.
It's such a garbage speed booster, though.
Right, and I think that's really all its problem is that it's just not. It's not that the concept is bad; it's the implementation is terrible. I think one of the biggest problems with the wolf form is that I wonder if you die if you're going to end up on the left side of the checkpoint or the right side of the checkpoint.
Oh, now you can find out.
Well, now you know. I think you can jump on top of those spikes.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to ride it. Maybe.
I mean, that would be my first inclination. I can't tell if that was because you touched the spikes or if it.
It's gonna be a really tight jump if I can make it up there, which I'm sure I can. Oh nope, I
Okay, it
just
just
die up
kills you.
there.
It just kills you. That's what I was wondering. It looked like that's what was happening, but I'm pretty sure the apples can't hurt you until the spikes hit them.
No, the apples will hurt you even if they're just sitting in the tree.
Oh, will they? Okay. What the? Oh, it just still keeps going.
Yes.
This is like I want to be the guy.
Surprise!
um, so yeah, how do we think we could improve the wolf form so it's not so well? Let's talk about why it's terrible. I think that the biggest problem with it is that you start slower than Alucard starts when you start running. Like it's worse than being Alucard initially, and has too long of a wind up before it stops being worse than Alucard.
Apple didn't even get hit, it just fell on me.
Like I think that a quick and dirty improvement to the wolf form would be to make it so you at least move as fast as Alucard when you start moving. I think that alone would make it worth turning into wolf form.
Yeah, maybe.
You could at least make it like the speed booster, where it's just like you start going faster when you use it, or just make it so that like when you get wolf form, you get a sprint, and then as you, like if you go fast enough, suddenly you're a wolf.
Yeah, I mean that was how I would personally like do a complete fix on it. Is instead of even having it be a transformation, just have it be when Alucard moves for long enough, he turns into a wolf eventually. Like as long as you don't attack or anything as you're walking, and then you turn into wolf form, and then you move really fast. Basically, it just turning into Super Metroid's speed boost form.
But the game's not inspired by Super Metroid, remember?
Oh yeah, I know. It's inspired by Zelda, which apparently has a wolf form. Well, I guess Zelda does have a wolf form
So
eventually.
so the wolf form's still kind of better than the Pegasus boots, which like you start standing completely still before you start moving fast.
I don't know about that, because at least from what I've seen in the randomizer, the boots seem like a really good use to go quickly, rather than the wolf form, which is never useful to go quickly.
There's a lot more opportunity in Zelda to go in a straight line. Therefore, the Pegasus boots have a lot more application. Plus, the Pegasus boots had like specific. That was the other thing is that the wolf form is completely unnecessary. I think you can beat the entire game without it. You don't need it to like speed past a closing door or any kind of a gating that it could have been. And I'm pretty sure.
You know, being bored out of your mind, going through a really long hallway.
Yeah, but usually those hallways.
Enemies in the way.
Yeah,
and
usually
then
those
you can't
hallways have a lot of enemies.
So you should also be able to attack while in wolf form.
You technically can. You have the weird bark thing, but it's not very good.
The wall clinging mechanics are really kind of awful. You have to not be pressing any movement keys and then press jump. If you move off the wall, you don't jump off the wall.
And they look terrible. I'm just watching it.
You know, if you're holding into the wall, then you immediately latch back onto it and you don't gain any height, basically.
So yeah, that was the other thing that I thought that was bad about the wolf form is the transformation time. It takes forever to turn into the wolf in the first place. So basically you had the Pegasus boots plus the slow startup. It's just a really awful addition to the game, and I'm really curious if anybody actually ever uses it. Besides the novelty of like having it initially and trying to use it.
Yeah, I liked how Shantae and the Seven Sirens did a few of its transformations. Where like one of them you transform by dashing. And then I think Shantae had a double jump where like you transformed into something to do the double jump.
Shantae had the monkey form where you could climb on walls too, right?
I'm talking about the Seven Sirens.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so they just made it so all the... Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, because Shantae started out initially being like Symphony of the Night where it takes forever. I think it took longer in Shantae to transform.
Yeah, because you have to like bring up the menu and then she does a little dance. But then they got rid of that for the transformations, but then they had you do it for like basically spells.
Maybe that makes a little bit more sense.
Jeez, hopefully I didn't need to not save here and then have to go to the right. That would suck.
Oh gosh. Hopefully not. I think you just have to do it in one leap.
Not that that matters for this jump, just afterwards. I think I can land on the left side of that platform with the smaller spike. Yeah, I
Just
can.
hearing all the deaths.
Just silently watching to see if he makes it.
It's like 1 pixel.
By the way, is it showing I want to be the guy on the stream now?
Oh yeah.
So rMetroidvania says that people turn into wolf form because they like wolves. That's the only reason why.
It's because they're furries.
So let's talk about the speed boost in Super Metroid, how it's better in every way. Like what makes the speed boost?
It's not a wolf, so therefore it's worse.
It's not a wolf, and therefore it's worse. What makes it good, or do you think it's good?
One thing that I really like about the speed boost is that it lets them make like multi-room puzzles, where like you have to build up speed in one room, and then use that speed somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. It really helps connect the world, because otherwise you have more of just a collection of rooms, and really a Metroidvania should be more than just a collection of rooms.
It forces you to think about the environment more too, which I think is also important. It makes each room more memorable than they would otherwise be because you have to remember details about those rooms in order to use them.
Also, the fact that you're literally using the geometry to do things.
Right.
Although it did ramp up the difficulty, so a lot of people had issues with it in Zero Mission, for instance.
Oh gosh. Zero Mission really made you use advanced techniques in order to get everything that was available in it. Which I think overall I think it's a good thing, although I'm sure it would be really annoying people who have to 100% because of OCD or whatever. That's hilarious.
Who could you possibly be talking about?
Although they've said that the person we're referring to has said that they enjoy Metroid, so...
Yeah, but they specifically said that they hated that aspect of Zero Mission.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
We're not going to mention any names. That way, when this person watches the stream, if they do, they can
They'll
assume
know.
we're talking about somebody else.
You know they'll know.
Oh, I'm sure. But one of the other things I like about the speed boost is that, like, I feel like a lot of Metroid's abilities have dual purposes or multiple purposes. Like the bomb breaks walls, but you could also use it to bomb jump. The space jump is a little bit more dynamic than just a regular double jump. And then like the speed boost adds really high jumping, but it requires a little bit of skill to pull it off. I think that's really a neat aspect of it. Like other games that have had the speed boost. Excuse me.
Yes, it's fake Kraid.
Or
He made the Kraid noise.
That's hilarious. What is his name? Zangief?
Zangief.
Zangief?
Why is this room iconic? Like, there's nothing special about it, but I instantly recognize that it's gonna be the Kraid room.
That's funny. But yeah, that's what I like. Other games have copied the speed boost, but they usually only copy the boosting part.
You have to hit him when he's yelling too.
So it really
It's
is
because
just
his mouth
crazy.
is open.
Yeah. Who doesn't punch me?
Well, Caldrath did establish that the designer of this game did like Super Metroid, so it really is just great.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Everything about this game is weird. Like you need to get down?
Oh, I didn't think he was gonna do that yet. I damaged him too quickly.
I don't know if it's damage that's causing him to change phases.
I think it is because there's an extra phase when I wasn't hitting him as much at the beginning. Because he had gone for 2 punches and he went for 1 this time.
Alright, so next Symphony of the Night that does not have an analog in Super Metroid is the Mist Form. What do we think of the Mist Form? Is that a key gate?
Well, it lets you fly, so it's.
I don't like the mist form. It's
Mist
a
Form,
terrible upgrade.
Mist Form
It's-
does
it's
not
like
let
this-
you fly unless you get a secondary upgrade for it, but we can talk about that too. So how come you don't like the Mist Form, Master?
I don't know, I just hate it. I have a bias against it.
I hate gases, man. I don't want my character to be a gas.
Like, it is usually pretty slow.
So, Mist Form is useful in combat. During the... what is the name of that boss? Gamelon? Gamelon?
That's the giant dude.
Yeah, he's the only hard boss in the entire game. Um, it's like crucial during that boss fight to dodge some of the attacks because you're invulnerable while you use the Mist Form. However, by the time you do that fight, you're likely going to have the fly ability, so you can kind of move around the room while you're doing it as well, as long as you have magic. What is he? What the? What the?
Are we about to get spinning pile driver? Yep.
Wow. That was something.
Kraid never did that.
No, he didn't.
Who
game's
is
not-
this, by the way? It's
Zangief?
clearly somebody.
Yeah, it's a Street Fighter character.
Yeah, it's Zangief.
I thought you recognized him. I don't think he's
No.
normally green.
I don't... Yeah, no, I don't play fighting games.
Oh.
I'm a non-confrontational person.
You say as you're shooting this guy in the face.
Self-defense.
Wouldn't that translate to Street Fighter? You just have to let them attack you once before you start trying to hit them.
Oh gosh, that's like when I played Morrowind for the first time, and I used the Intimidate ability all the time so that people would attack me first, and then when I killed them, the guards wouldn't be aggroed on me. I wonder if this is like created in the sense that you have to shoot him once to get him to open his mouth.
Yeah, it seems like you have to shoot him in the eyes, and then that makes him open his mouth.
This is correct. It's also like that other fight with the bony dude whose name I forget.
Crocomire. I like how you call him the bony dude. Whoa, he's Hadoukening. I don't even think that character gets a Hadouken. Does he?
Oh.
Also, is that an actual verb, Hadoukening?
Oh no.
What is going on? Does that hurt you? Okay, it does when you go against the wall.
No. This isn't fun.
You give it up, Master?
What? No.
No, never. I like this form. I think it's neat when you get the thing. I like it more than bat form. Let's talk about bat form. Why not? I just brought it up. Let's talk about it. How do we feel about bat form?
Well, it's a flight ability. We kind of have discussed flight ability.
You don't like flight.
Yeah, I feel like it. Well, it works as like a final upgrade, like an ultimate upgrade that lets you just like do whatever you want now.
But are those upgrades fun?
So it is questionable whether, like, being able to just completely ignore all previous challenges can be fun or not. Like, it does definitely make you feel more powerful, and it makes it so that people who otherwise wouldn't be able to complete those can 100% the game. So it's kind of like that difficulty discussion.
So I'm going to make the argument... Wow, you skipped that whole other phase. What the heck? What is going on? You broke it. I don't think this is supposed to happen.
No, I'm accepting it.
No, you better hit R right now just so you can do the fight for real.
So
Hey, I that was a lot of skill hitting him as much as I did.
I'm going to completely confess, if anything like that ever happens to me, I take it.
Yeah, there was one of the bosses in Escape from Tethys that it just did not move at all the entire time I was fighting it.
Okay, so where do I go next?
That doesn't surprise me. Escape from Tethys had a lot of technical issues.
Yeah.
At the
I
time.
don't want to waste the stream's time.
So the next room has a thing that has like a block at the bottom of the screen that rises up when you jump on it.
Oh, I gotta go down. Nice. What even are those purple things?
Let's see. So flight has to be an in-game thing unless there are limits, and you can only be in the form for a certain amount of time, and the length of time can be lengthened by upgrades. I'm trying to think if there's a game that does that. Like you have limited flight initially, and then you gradually get more. I mean, I guess... What's that?
Gargoyle's Quest had the hover, but with like a time limit.
Yeah, but even then that was more of a horizontal thing, and it wasn't so strong that you couldn't make Demon's Crest be challenging, giving you that ability from the beginning. This is annoying. Although it should be obvious that you can go down there. Goodness. I feel
so
bad
is
for
there
you,
a
Master.
save point to the right, and if I go to the right, can I go back to the left?
Try going to the right and going back left and see what happens. Damage when you're in flying form makes you fall. Usurper did that. And that had some other issues. Like there were other factors that kind of made that not so great. I'm going to make the argument though that looks like you can. They probably did that with the intention that you would do exactly what you're doing.
It's inconsistent with many of the if you're able to go left or not.
So I'm going to make the argument that Batform fits Castlevania because,
It's a bat. Bats
well,
are spooky.
well, in Portrait of Ruin, I think it's a owl form. Am I wrong on
That's because
that?
Portrait's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible, so it's not a bat. No, it fits Castlevania because Castlevania has never been about the platforming challenges, or at least Igavania Castlevania has never been about the platforming challenges. And so turning into bat form removes your ability to do what Castlevania or Igavania Castlevania really is about, which is doing combat. So, like, it eliminates, it removes a challenge that was never a challenge in the game in the first place, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
How much platforming does Circle have?
Circle of the Moon? I can't think of any. Couldn't you fly in Circle of the Moon after you got the couldn't you like do it indefinitely? Like in the air?
Yeah, I think you got that. Like, but I remember some of the areas just being particularly hard to traverse.
Because of the double
And
tap
then
jump.
there'd be falling and dying. Maybe I like it more because it actually has platforming, unlike all the other Castlevania games.
It does have a little bit of platforming. You are correct. I'm trying to remember. Or I think you may be correct. This room's already amazing. This is the Braille room. Kind of makes you wish you had wall jumping.
Yes, but not if it's
Oh.
like the wall jumping we've already seen.
Now,
That'll
Order
make
of,
this pretty easy.
Order of Ecclesia gives you literal flight, which you could use your abilities while you're flying during it, I think. So in
And a
that
lot
case,
of them give you like infinite flying uppercuts.
I seem to remember the flying not being very reliable during the final boss fight, though, so it wasn't like super overpowering from a combat standpoint either. Yeah, you can't fall down that. I think he may be stuck. So I don't know. The bat form I think works for Castlevania. I think it wouldn't work for like Super Metroid. I don't think. Like if you
And
had
basically the same as the space jump.
yes, but the space jump like you can still get hit by spikes and stuff like that while you're moving through different rooms. Whereas the bat form would completely eliminate that threat. And I'm not necessarily saying that that threat like is like super important for Super Metroid, but I think it makes it so that there's still some skill involved. Whereas with the bat form, you have such precision that what the heck?
This is exciting. Oh,
Oh no!
I think I recognize that dust effect. Wonder if that was also stolen.
It's from Super Metroid, or Super Metroid does that. Wow.
This is great. Also, those circle things are from Metroid.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. So, okay, that thing came out of the wall, right? Can you go through the wall where the thing came out?
I don't think so. I think I just need to not trigger them by not going to the right.
Okay.
Oh no.
Wait, do you look like Samus right now?
No. I have a bow. That's
Oh,
because
okay,
I'm on the
okay.
lowest difficulty.
All right, let's see here. Grappling beam. What do we think about the grappling beam in Super Metroid?
It's a little key-like, but it's interesting. I think Environment Station Alpha did a way better job.
I agree that Environmental Station Alpha did a way better job. I actually think that the grappling beam is the most poorly implemented power up in Super Metroid. I think it's really awkward to use. Obviously, it becomes completely worthless after you get the space jump.
I mean, a lot of things do. The high jump boots.
Yeah, high jump boots aren't useful, but like the speed booster and stuff, it's still useful. And of course,
High
ball
jump's
forming.
always useful.
There are aspects of when high jump can be useful, even with the space jump, but it does sort of make it obsolete. I wonder if you can beat. I don't think you can beat Metroid 2 without the high jump. I'm pretty sure there's a gate.
But if you got the space jump before the high jump, then you probably could.
What the? Well, that feels just like Metroid right there.
It is.
Where the
Except in
Cheerios
Metroid,
pop
you
out.
have health.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Retroidvania. Very much appreciated. Yeah, I think Environmental Station Alpha did a much better job about it. Now, I wanted to raise a question about what you thought of optional upgrades with the grappling beam, because Axiom Verge has the grappling beam, or like a hookshot type thing. It works anywhere, which I think is one of the reasons why it's less interesting in Super Metroid. Is because it has such a limited scope of where it's allowed to be used.
Yeah, that's a complaint that I had for a lot of the abilities in the Messenger.
They're all single application.
Yeah, like there's like specific pieces of the environment that you had to use them on.
That's you could use the grappling hook on any wall, right? I thought you could.
It might have been
Oh,
like the only one.
there's no saves. This is really painful.
Hmm.
And you're on the mode where you get more saves.
Yeah.
This is actually very similar to the original Metroid experience in the sense that you got this big long gauntlet, even though, and as far as you not having any health in this game, you start with 30 health every time you retry the original Metroid,
Yeah.
which is the worst.
Yeah, this is just trying to be authentic.
So yeah, this is actually quite similar to the original Metroid in that sense. So there's a lot more actual Metroids. It makes me sad, like how the Metroid series is almost ignored by Nintendo anymore. For as iconic as Super Metroid is and how much of an effect it's had.
Apparently, it doesn't sell very well in Japan.
Oh, is it Japan specifically that it's the issue?
Like I've heard that specifically for Japan, it might be
Hmm.
other things as well.
I've heard that as well. Just the series in general not selling well in Japan.
Part of the
Big
problem
time
is they keep
America.
releasing it late in the console's life. And it's going to happen with Metroid Prime 4 as well. They're going to release it right when the Switch is dead. At this rate. How long has the Switch been out? It's been out
17?
2017, so 3 years. So they got 4 years left if they follow the 7-year cycle, which the Wii U obviously didn't. They need to get that game out, and they need to get it out soon.
but you don't want a rushed game.
That's true.
Like, I don't know if Other M was rushed or not, but you don't want another Other M.
We can only speculate about what happened with Other M. That is an interesting case study.
I wonder if there's a post-mortem for Other M.
Oh, there's plenty of videos on YouTube about it. I don't know how many people actually have information, though. Apparently, the localization was messed up in some ways, too. I don't know if the thesis of the video was the game is actually amazing if the localization is better. I don't believe that could possibly be the case because there are certain things that I can't see it being translated in any other way that would make it better. But apparently there was some confusion that they, for whatever reason, said that two organizations that had nothing to do with each other were both the Federation, which made it really confusing. You were doing really well.
Thanks. Feels so much better now.
Yeah. Nick, actually, we've been talking about streaming Metroid Other M just so we could talk about it and like how it could be improved and whatever.
In case you didn't notice, this game has Mega Man spamming, and it's not fun to do on a keyboard.
So I'm looking at an article, and it's like, Other M failed because players were reluctant to accept a female character.
Oh, those articles always exist. That's really funny.
Perhaps for the next Metroid game, we should have Adam Malkovich become the lead character. I can't wait to write his story, says
What?
Sakamoto. I don't know if this is...
that sounds like a parody.
This is on NintendoLife.com.
What?
Oh,
Did Sakamoto actually say something like that?
okay, so this might just be a forum post.
Okay.
Let me delve deeper into this.
I was going to say... That sounds like somebody's trolling.
It links to a dead URL.
Oh, great.
I feel like I need an auto clicker for this garbage.
Turbo mode. So Hero Core. So I played two Hero Core like games. I played Hero Core and I played Rabbit's Quest. I like Rabbit's Quest a little bit more. And one of the things I like more about it, I would probably say that most people are going to like Hero Core more than Rabbit's Quest. But one of the things I like more about Rabbit's Quest is that you have a rate of fire, and you can't fire any faster than that. Whereas in Hero Core, it has the rule of you can have 6 shots on the screen. And as long as there are less than 6 shots on the screen, you can fire as fast as you hit the button. And that is the most annoying design because my hands were hurting by the end of that because it's just optimal to fire as quickly as possible.
Yeah, this is Mega Man, except you can have 4 shots on the screen instead of 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and technically Mega Man has the same problem except that most enemies have iframes that make it so it's not worth doing that.
So, like, bosses have invincibility when you shoot them, but regular enemies don't.
Right.
So when you fight, like, the giant, like, mini bosses, you just have to pour bullets into them as fast as you can press the button.
Right. And most of the time they prevent you from spamming because they force you to keep a distance. Every once in a while, Mega Man will have that 1 or 2 enemies that require you to... Not require you to, but that it feels like it's worthwhile to hurt your wrist. I like how Master's taking a break to...
Well, first I need to rest my fingers.
That's what I was about to say.
Take a drink of water.
So anyway, we went on a little tangent there. Speaking of optional upgrades, what do we think of the X-ray goggles in Super Metroid?
Like, they kind of cover up a problem with the game Like, I think I've spoken before about how I think games should either have breakable walls or like illusionary walls and not both. And Super Metroid has both.
Hmm. I actually
And
think that one of the illusionary walls you can't even see with the X-ray goggles, which I think is bad.
yeah.
You just want to see yourself turn into dust.
I think Metroids are cute.
So does Samus.
Maybe she thinks baby Metroids are cute.
Her reaction to the baby Metroid that became a meme.
My problem is that to actually like spam my key, I have to like move my hand a lot, and then can I just skip all this by going through here? That'd be awesome.
Hey, look. Gets in your way.
Imagine if the down way is actually the way you go if you hate yourself, and then there's actually like this is the main progression or something.
I don't know how you're gonna. I think if you shoot them, they freeze. So you could have to use those
Okay.
bats as platforms. So, concept of the X-ray scope. Have you played Metroid: Samus Returns? Anybody? Calderoth?
No,
I have. It's been a while though.
Okay, so you can freeze them. I like how it makes like a shattering sound. So that game had kind of a. It basically works like the Super Bomb. What is that?
I think that if that could be like a gun upgrade or something. Oh my god, I need that for my fingers.
Hold down the button to fire rapidly. I don't know if that's going to help you at all. Can you wall jump off that thing? Sort of.
Sort of jump on the side of it. It's weird.
So, Master, you mentioned that you like the goggles in Metroid Prime,
Yes.
which are kind of an extension of the X-ray goggles from Super Metroid.
They're not an extension so much as just different and better in every way.
Sure.
So I don't really like specifically the X-ray goggles in Metroid Prime. I didn't like because they're a thing where you have to use them in a place and not. There's no way for you to know that you needed them before.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be a bit contrarian. I kind of don't like the goggles in Metroid Prime. I like the scanning, and having a goggle mode to do the scanning is neat. I don't necessarily like being the idea of scanning everything, but also Metroid Prime doesn't really reward you with anything to give you any incentive to scan everything.
Well, it rewards you with learning about the lore and, all of the
Sure.
space pirates who got crushed into balls.
It's like reading the item descriptions in Dark Souls. It's not.
Right, it's encouraged though, and you do have to do it to find things. But you don't have to read. You don't have to scan everything,
Occasionally,
and you
you'll
don't
have
have
to
to read
scan.
any of the logbook entries or enemies really.
Occasionally, you have to scan things to interact with them. Yeah.
So those are usually like marked differently.
I think the scanning stuff is like, I mean, it's not like peak environmental interaction, but it's up there.
It's
And
kind
like,
of
what
like
other games have done that? They don't really like to do that for some reason.
it's effectively like using the look command in a adventure game.
It is.
So I don't know. I like that part of it. Now, the X-ray goggles and the thermal goggles. Not as much of a fan. Thermal goggles, I think, are less like the problem that Calderoth brought up is exactly what I'm thinking. Is that there's nothing that says you kind of have to randomly try it, and that's not necessarily good design. Thermal goggles, I think that there are things that telegraph that you need the thermal goggles, but something like the X-ray goggles, it just doesn't.
Thermal, I mean, you'd either use it when it was extremely dark, or there would be like pipes and stuff, and you scan a switch, and it says like, "Oh, you gotta, it's inoperable, but maybe there's something nearby that can be used to render it operable again." And then you look at the circuit, you find where to shoot.
Oh yeah, that brings up one of the ability upgrades that you see a lot in Metroidvania is like even Hollow Knight had it where it's like a lamp and it just lights up an area.
Oh yeah,
But
the
you can
light source.
but you can technically get through that area without it. But it's just like the room above this, and I want to be the guy.
So that's technically a Symphony of the Night upgrade. The Bat's sonar was one of the things on the list. So the darkness dispeller. Keygate. Do you think that's a keygate?
It's like a
I don't
soft
even remember
key
that. Sounds like a key gate.
Like there's a lot of games where it has that upgrade, and I just don't bother getting it, and I just go through the room anyway.
Boy, in Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, it's almost impossible to do anything in the dark. That game has to be pitch black, though.
This is an annoying room to traverse, but I mean it's interesting at least. Maybe there's a better way to do it than what I've currently been doing.
Maybe so.
If I hit it that high, then I can just freeze the one so it doesn't fall on me, and I think I can make it across.
Oh, you would have to have the other one to jump on top of that one. So yeah, in general, I think the darkness is one of those things that it's the least fun thing to be in. Like, it's really rare for darkness to be fun, unless the entire game is based around it, like a Barbarian.
Yeah, Barbarian does darkness pretty well.
Well, you kind of start the game with the illumination ability.
Yeah. Yeah, the entire...
You're not doing it in the same sense as you are with other games. It's pretty unique.
It's a core mechanic in Barbarian, which it's not. It's usually a side thing, a kind of an annoying room you have to figure out. Whoops.
I always just stop there and like I'm ready to take a drink of water or something while I wait for the enemy, and then I get hit by the spike.
I actually want to look up and see what this thing is. Let's see. I want to be the guy Chozo statue. Let's see what this is. Turian Item Guardian. Collect the secret item that it's holding.
I was very close. I was like 2 pixels off.
Secret item. Item 1 is found in the game over room. What do secret items do? All secret items do nothing and are purely there for fun. Are you having fun, Master?
I mean, I'm having more fun doing this than I am trying to.
Trying to beat Mother Brain?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We got a raid.
We got a raid.
Oh, we did. Nice.
Animator AR.
Raid. Welcome, Animator AR.
Hello.
We're just talking about ability upgrades while watching Master attempt to get this secret item, which apparently does nothing. Fun. Yeah, we were just talking about where would we leave off? I think we've actually gone through all of the powers in Super Metroid. And is there anything I missed in Symphony of the Night? We got the bat form. We got
The key. The actual key.
the actual key. I'm assuming that that's an ability gate, right?
Right. In Super Metroid, we didn't go over any of the beams.
No, we didn't. Ice Beam. Let's talk about Ice Beam because actually that's very relevant right now. I've never liked the mechanic, to be honest. They never did it in Metroid Prime, did they? Where you had to use them as platforms?
I don't think so. Like, you did get it an ice beam in Metroid Prime,
Yeah, you did.
but I don't think it made platforms. I think it was
I think
just
you may
like,
finally got it.
Cool. I feel so accomplished.
you have a sense of pride and accomplishment.
I do.
I just don't die on the way out.
And it would have been saved anyways. You don't have to save for bonus things.
Well, now you have to go fight Mother Brain.
Yep.
That's what makes this game a Metroidvania right there.
Because it has a Metroid.
Because it has a Metroid and Mother Brain. And it has Castlevania in it, so therefore it is literally a Metroidvania. In that terrible definition that some people have. Those dang Cheerios, man.
You know, my fingers refreshed. I'm hitting things faster now, I think. At least for a little bit. If I stop hitting things fast, maybe we can switch the randomizer for like 10 minutes. We call this stream.
Do you want to switch to the randomizer for a little bit? We could do that.
Just like for a little bit and then come back to this.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's up to
I
you.
don't really want to keep spamming the Z button.
Yeah, maybe you could set up like joy to key and then have it auto fire.
But that's cheating.
Good night,
I mean, the
AR.
game's also cheating, so.
If you want, we can switch to the randomizer for the last 20 minutes and do that instead.
Gotta finish it at some point.
That's true. We are on the downhill stretch. I think we could probably go fight Mother Brain at any point now.
So we'll go from fighting Mother Brain to fighting Mother Brain.
I probably should. That'd be fun. Except there's a lot of secrets I want to check out first. I don't think we need anything to beat Zelda either. I think we have everything we need. We have the silver arrows. So I think if we wanted to, we could just go fight Ridley and then Mother Brain. I do kind of want to get the plasma beam before fighting Ridley, though, or at least the charge shot. No, we have the plasma beam, but we need the charge shot. Just because really, I don't know. I mean, I could probably do it with super missiles.
Yeah, you have a ton of those. And we have no idea where the charge shot is, do we?
No, we don't. But there are a lot of places we haven't been yet. Now that we have the speed boost.
What? That was a really big hitbox.
Don't you hate that when you think it's supposed to miss you and it doesn't? So I don't like the ice beam. How does everybody else feel about the ice beam?
I like it.
Yeah,
You
it's
like
an
it?
interesting upgrade.
I always get a little frustrated because the enemies don't necessarily cooperate.
Like, I think it's an interesting upgrade that's not that fun to use, I guess would be the problem with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how it could be implemented better. Because most of the time when you have it, it just doesn't feel very good to use. And it looks like the stream just paused.
Yes.
There we go.
Like, maybe if you put it, instead of having it be a beam, you put it on the screw attack or something like that. So it just like froze enemies and then you just jump on them.
Automatically freezes them.
Yeah.
So Agalos did kind of a similar thing where you envelop people in stone, but it was effectively the same thing. I'm trying to think of what made that one more palatable. Now, Metroid is one of the better examples of that mechanic working decently well. Castlevania Circle of the Moon had a couple of freeze enemies and used them as platforms parts. They were extremely annoying because the enemies also shot and attacked you at the same time. So it made it especially frustrating. There are just way too many Cheerios on the screen.
I think that's the point. Just to be as ridiculous as possible.
I mean, the original had a lot of them. I don't remember if it had this many for the last one, but it had a lot.
So another game that had, like, basically the ice beam as a pretty major mechanic was the Valkyrie Profile series.
Oh, yeah. They fell to the ground after you used them, and I think you could push them around like a block, right?
Yeah.
And then that makes it so it eliminates the aspect that that the enemies don't cooperate because you can kind of push them into where you need them anyway.
Yeah, it is a little weird that they get frozen and they get, like, it just freezes the gravity as well.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, clearly they obviously don't care enough to change that, but come to think of it, I can't remember if you use the ice beam in that way in Other M at all. I don't think you do.
What do you do with it in Other M?
I honestly don't remember the ice beam that well in Other M.
Yeah, same. Probably just like in Prime where it's
Probably because none of the gameplay is memorable.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts like you remember some of the ability upgrades, especially the dumb ones, like the wave beam when you kind of have to backtrack for basically no reason.
I remember being told I can't use Power Bomb.
Yeah, that was like the first thing that Adam says. The power bomb will kill everything on this ship because it's so powerful. Which
you use it anyway.
you use the power bomb so much in like Super Metroid, it doesn't seem to hurt anything. So
It
I mean,
hurts
you do
that
kind
glass
of nuke
too.
entire screens with it, so.
right. But yeah.
I'm gonna send this guy a bill for my arthritis medication.
You seem pretty determined to get this though. I have a feeling you're going to continue playing this after this stream.
And you're gonna hate it. But you're gonna do it anyway. This is your La Milana.
I mean, I do play a lot of games that I don't necessarily enjoy playing all the time.
I think we all do that to some degree.
Sometimes you just gotta play a bad game because it has something unique about it.
Yeah, I prefer bad games over boring games.
Well,
There's two
sometimes
kinds
you
of
get
bad.
to play both.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, nothing like a game that's long and tedious, but also frustrating sometimes.
Spamming keys is like literally the only thing I don't like doing.
You can always get like
If
a turbo mod for your keyboard.
I mean, yeah, I could.
Just pull up Joy to key. I think you can even assign the key to the key. Do you have Joy to key?
I mean, no, I can pull up something and probably just have it repeat. It's kind of cheaty, but whatever.
Is it cheating though, or is it an accessibility option?
I mean, that's true if my hands hurt.
It's not in the game itself, so
You can make that argument.
yeah. But you can
Don't
also make
remember
the
what the
argument that it
application's for.
should be in the game itself.
That's
Right.
true. It should be in the game. Yeah, you'll have to give me a minute to actually figure out where I go for this.
But part of the problem, or part of the like selling point of the game is that it's extremely hard. So making it easier somehow might be considered against the spirit of the game. But
Right, but
I don't care.
in this case, the hardness is the me being in physical pain. So, yeah. I hurt myself mentally all the time, but no, physically I'm not gonna do that. That's against my what's
I draw the
It's a
line
word.
of physical self-harm. Philosophy?
maybe.
Well, we're probably too late to switch to the randomizer at this point.
That's true. We won't get much done.
I think it's probably at the point where whenever you're done, I think we'll wrap up the stream.
Oh. Whatever application I just opened just applied an aggressive green tint to the entire screen, so that's cool.
I don't see the green tint on my end, so
Oh god, it's also changed my audio mixing. That's fun.
what did you do? Did you open a virus just now?
No, my computer has like on like manufacturer MSI applications where you can set this kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I haven't really used the application. And here I'm opening the application thinking that this might be where I can easily bind keys. But it also just happened to, launch it.
So do we want to keep talking about different beams? We want to move on to like the wave beam.
Yeah, wave beam. I like wave beam. I like the idea of hitting things through walls. It was really interesting when both, I think Weapon Hacker does it, but I know that a robot named Fight uses the shoot through walls as a key often. Is that a key or is it an ability gate?
Well, you can shoot anywhere, and there's walls everywhere. I guess it depends on how common walls are in your game. Like if there aren't very many walls in your game, then it would be a key gate.
That's true. Or how often you need to actually use the ability to get through something. It's a convenience thing in like Metroid 2 when you find those sand rooms because of the way the wave beam just kind of cuts through everything.
Oh yeah.
That's
But
nice.
it like leaves the like stray blocks every once in a while.
That's true. All right, that time your screen did glitch up a little bit.
Yeah, I've
'Cause I'm
actually
alt tabbing.
I've joked about how a double jump is a key gate if the game has like low ceilings everywhere. So there's only like a few places where you can actually jump.
Yeah, it's all about implementation. I've discovered that you don't really need the wave beam for most of Super Metroid. like there are one-way doors that you can get through more easily once you have the wave beam. But I missed it. This playthrough I'm in right now. For some reason, I always miss the wave beams.
I think part of it is that you have other abilities that like you got out of order that let you get to places, and also you can just go to Zelda and then come out on the other side.
Oh, I'm talking about my Saturday stream right now. We're actually playing through Super Metroid,
Oh, okay.
doing a regular playthrough. I don't know if you've joined in on any of those.
I think I've been in one of them. I keep missing them.
I know you arrived on this. Can you hit the? Did you hear the glass break? Can you shoot the glass from this room?
Did hear that.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess there's that. Well, now you might have Cheerios coming after you.
That's fine. If okay, this Smack Rug is going too fast.
It might not be too fast when you're close to something.
It'd be hilarious if you get up to the wall and just like instantly disappears.
Oh wow. Oh wow. It's like slow-mo mode.
Well, that might make it easier too.
It might.
Maybe. Sometimes you slow time down and you can fail in slow-mo.
Yeah, but you can just hit R anytime.
Is that even working correctly? It seems like it's just slowing the game down.
It's working. You can just only shoot so many times.
Ooh. But yeah.
Don't worry, I've almost figured it out.
And there's the missiles and super missiles. Those are literally keys from a key standpoint.
You can still use them to kill enemies.
Sure. So is that your... so does it have to be usable in combat to avoid being a key gate?
It just has to be usable everywhere. Like, I have that spectrum that I discussed. Like, there's things that can be used everywhere, or definitely abilities. Then there's stuff that is like requires an environmental feature that is extremely common. Like a wall jump is like usually considered an ability, but it requires a wall to exist there. So it's not quite as flexible.
Don't go too crazy. Are you just auto-firing now?
Yes.
I guess there's
Don't
no
worry,
reason
I'm
not
still gonna
to.
fail my platforming. Tired.
All right, we're gonna end the stream by watching Master accomplish this. This is how you be the guy. Cheat. You did it. All skill. Uh-oh.
At least there's a save.
Of course. Of course there's a time
Yeah, I
limit.
was expecting this. This is great.
This is almost like the end of a game. So yeah, we beat Mother Brain tonight. I'm going to put that on the video description.
Oh, that's fun.
What the... Those Metroids. They crack me up.
They're nice.
It'd be funny if it didn't reset the time limit when you retried.
I
Yeah.
don't think that would be funny.
So I knew that something was going to happen there, but I kind of
So
expected
did I, but I
the
thought I could dodge it.
I kind of expected the platform to rise up instead of sink, but they went a different direction.
I was actually really close to doing it legitimately with the amount of damage I had in those other attempts. Just I don't like pressing things.
This is a blind left or right situation.
Oh fuck. Well, may as well go up and see what traps lie ahead.
You may still have time. Although you may not have platform. Oh.
Wonder what music's playing. Should probably actually check and see. I have the music. Actually, I'm not sure if I can open. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it plays music like every time you die. It's really gross, but then otherwise it's like, you know, pleasant music player. Is this NES Metroid music?
It sounds like parody. No, this is the actual music that it plays when you're trying to escape.
See, you hurt yourself with this. Maybe it's not actually hard at all. I'm just messing up all the jumps because I'm trying to go quickly. And that's the troll. You are your own worst enemy. Also, the fact that they're small and that if you're on the edge of a platform, you fall off of it. Don't help.
So what do you think about the size of the I Want to Be the Guy guy? You think he's too small?
I appreciate games with smaller people.
Yeah, it's about the same as Environmental Station Alpha.
No, ESA is bigger.
ESA is way bigger.
Oh, you mean like the sprite size or the size on the screen?
Both.
Like the character that you're playing as.
I'm thinking more along the lines of how much of the screen he takes up.
How do I get up? See, that was pleasant.
There you go.
There's even more up ahead. But we should probably call this stream.
Yep, I think that's it for tonight. Well, I think we taxed everything we could say about ability upgrades this time around. So if we ever go into subverting cliches, we can avoid talking about ability upgrades now.
Yeah.
Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.